As bad as the Detroit Pistons look, I am still a firm believer this team is just a couple pieces away from being at least a competitive team. Maybe they wouldn't make the playoffs. Maybe they wouldn't even make the play-in tournament. But I still think if we traded for someone big, I still think that this team could at least be a competitive team. You look at some other young teams around the NBA, like the Rockets, the Magic, who have seemingly gotten so much better and having winning seasons, whereas the Pistons look like they got worse. So I don't know what's happening. I do think we're a very young team and experienced. But today we're going to be looking at the top 3 trade targets for the Detroit Pistons. We're going to start with Karl Anthony Towns from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now the question is, would the Timberwolves even want to give him up? I honestly don't know. That's the thing. We'd probably have to offer a pretty big trade package, and but you want to look at what this guy would mean to this team. You look at the starting lineup right now. You got Cade Cunningham. We all know he can score, right? He's a good scorer. He hasn't shot the ball very well this year. He started off really good, went on a kind of a little bit of a skid, a little bit of a slump, and then he kind of started to get back into it. He's shooting pretty good right now. But outside of Cade on that starting lineup, you got Killian Hayes, who God knows why he's even starting. Monty Williams, we're still waiting for you to explain yourself. Ausar Thompson, he's kind of been off the bench more now with Bojan back, which is fine because, we need another scorer besides, along with Cade. So, but Ausar is not the best shooter. Bojan, he's obviously a scorer, but he has been injured. He can be inconsistent at times. Isaiah Stewart, way too inconsistent with the 3, not really a shot creator. Jalen Duren is just, the big rim protector and lob threat down low. So, you look at what Karl Anthony Towns would mean for this team. He's a guy that can space the floor for Cade. He can shoot from anywhere on the court. He's not just a rebounder. He's a great 3 shooter. He can make plays as well. His defense, I wouldn't say is his strong suit. I would say he's better offensively, but he can get the job done defensively. I've watched him. He's not bad defensively either. But the Timberwolves, the big question is, would they even want to give him up? I don't know. The Timberwolves, as of right now, have the best record in the NBA. They're sitting at 16-4. Top of the Western Conference, and to me, they look like one of the teams that could probably win it all this year. Anthony Edwards has been playing MVP level basketball. Karl Anthony Towns has been having one of his better seasons. I don't know if it's his best or not. I'd have to look into that, but I'm sure it's one of his best. He's been having a good year, and just the Timberwolves to me, definitely are a contending team. So I don't know. We'd probably have to offer a pretty big trade package, and I forgot to mention I'm going to go through all the packages and everything that I would trade for all 3 of these guys. I'm going to go through it all at the end. So at the very end, I'm going to go through each trade package and what I would do. But Karl Anthony Towns to me would be beneficial to this team. Even if he costs a lot, I really think this is probably the number 1 guy that could really just change this team around with his offensive ability. Next up, we have Zack LaVine from the Chicago Bulls. If you don't remember, this is the same guy who dropped 51 on us in our last win that we've had this season. It's crazy to think this team was so close to being 3-0. I mean, if Monty Williams would have drew up a better play for Cade against the Miami Heat in that game, we probably could have won that. Or if Killian Hayes would have threw it to Burks and he would have hit that 3. And we could have been 4-1 if we would have beat the Trailblazers, which we should have. But we're not even going to pay attention to that because this team sucks right now. Right? We are looking for trade targets, and Zack LaVine, I'm not going to lie, this is a guy who I've heard a lot about, coming to the Pistons. I heard that they actually are trying to make an offer for him. Now, the more I think about it, this guy's he's more of a shooting guard. If this was a guy who can play power forward for us and start there, then I'd probably be fine with that. But he's only 6'5". He plays big because he's so athletic. So he could probably play the 3 as well. But he's more of a 2, and to me, that's just not what this team needs. Unless they have no confidence in Ivey, which I don't get why they wouldn't after what he did his rookie season and what he's done this season when given the opportunity. He looked good. This video is coming out the night that we just lost the Memphis Grizzlies. Lost 18 in a row now. This Jaden Ivey has looked pretty good this season given the opportunity. So Zack LaVine, a guy who I just went and looked at all their stats. Zack LaVine currently shooting 44% from the field. He's only shooting 33% from 3, which is okay. He's averaging 21 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And yeah, it's just kind of decent stats. 21 points per game kind of surprised me because he's got 3 games with over 40 points, and all 3 of those games have been losses. So kind of surprising, but I don't know. To me, this guy I really like him, and I would be happy if we got him because he would probably help this team a ton. Great shooter, and great scorer. The Pistons, if you look at it, we do not have a single player with over 33 points. I think Cade has the most this year. It's 33. We don't have a single player that scored more than 33 points, let alone 40. We don't have a single player that scored more than 33. I think that a guy that can, drop 40, 50 any given night would really help his team. His shooting percentages are a little low this year, but he's going to probably get those up. And he's also like the only player on his team. The Bulls are a team that are going into a rebuild as well. They've been mid the last few years, always at that 12 seed, so I think they would trade him. And last but not least, we have Lauri Markkanen, who to me is probably my number one guy. And I forgot to mention Cat's stats, by the way. He's putting up about 22 a game, 42% from three, which is pretty impressive. About 50% from the field, 9 rebounds, I think like 3.3 assists, something like that. So he's having a really good year. Lauri, on the other hand, he's putting up a solid 23 points per game, 8 rebounds, as well as like an assist and a half per game, and he's shooting 37.5% from three, I believe. So, and he's also shooting 50% from the field, so his stats are looking good as well. We already talked about LaVine's, I believe. I'm pretty sure I said LaVine's already. Putting up like 21 points per game with like 5 rebounds. So if we were, I haven't mentioned this yet, but Isaiah Stewart, to me, he's just not a starter. Like, as much as I love the guy, he's just not the dude that I think that the Pistons need starting at that 4 spot. You got Cade, you got, hopefully, I really hope they keep Ivey because he's one of my favorite players, and I think he's a starter. You got Cade, you got Ivey, you got, Bojan or Ausar, either one, whichever one you want. You want offense, defense, you pick. You got Duren down low, so you're just kind of missing that 4 spot guy, and I think Lauri would 100% be that guy for us. Again, a guy that can shoot anywhere around the court. Cat's a 7-footer. This guy, I believe, is 6'9", 6'10". I'd have to double check that. But this is a dude who I would love to see start at the 4 and consistently put up, 20, 30 points every night. A guy who's averaging, basically same stats as Cade, or like same points as Cade, I should say. Great shooting percentages. Just an overall good player. Like, he can make plays, maybe not as good as Cat, but again, this is a dude who is a scorer. He can assist, he can make plays, and he's a good defender. I would think that he's actually the better defender out of all 3. So I 100% would love this guy. I think this would really help our team. And great offensive guy and a great guy to have in the locker room as well. So between him and Cat, and like I said, I'd still take LaVine as well. But I really like Cat and Lauri. So let's go ahead and get into these trade packages. So starting off, the Pistons would receive Karl-Anthony Towns and a first-round pick swap this year. And then on the other end, the Timberwolves would get Killian Hayes, Marvin Bagley, and James Wiseman, as well as a 2024 first-round swap pick and a 2025 first-round pick. Now, more than likely, they're going to command a little more, but that would be my ideal trade package for what I would want them for. Next up, we got the Pistons getting Zack LaVine, as well as a second-round pick with Patrick Williams. On the other end, the Bulls would be getting Killian Hayes, Isaiah Stewart, James Wiseman, 2024 first-round pick, and a 2025 second-round pick. Again, no idea if they would accept this, but I did hear they are trying to get rid of Patrick Williams, so that could be another guy that we trade for. A guy who's never lived up to his potential, but I'd take him and we can work on him. Next, we got the Pistons getting Lauri Markkanen in a 2024 second-round pick. And on the other end, the Jazz would be getting Killian Hayes, Isaiah Stewart, James Wiseman, and a 2024 first-round pick. I really think the Jazz would like this. I don't know. Again, this is the thing with all these. More than likely, they would probably require another pick, another player, whatever. This would just be my ideal trade packages. And I love all 3 of these guys. And like I said, they might require more picks, but honestly, I don't know. I'm not a GM, so they might require more, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. So go down in the comments. Tell me who you like. I love all 3. I would take any of the 3. Let me know who you want, what your ideal trade package would be as well. And then please tell me what you thought of the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you all listening, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.